Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 locked. Good luck out there.
Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Stargate Flames of Hope. We are here and we're very excited. We have a special guest with us tonight, but we'll introduce him second to last. So, we're going to go around and say who we are and who we're playing. I'm Lindy, and I'll be playing Ixora, the Nox adjacent, known as the Aturan scientist of the group, and complete and utter nerd. Someone who is also kind of a nerd would be Deception Check. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yes, I'm playing Fiddler. He's a Tolan nerd, engineer actually. Loves exploding things and never lets anyone forget that Tolans are so much smarter than the Tari. So he likes to point that out regularly. And we're totally not building a body for an unshackled AI to run around our base because totally not doing that because that's not something that would be smart, right? So we're not. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Someone who's actually probably not at all involved in totally not building a body for an unshackled AI, and instead is focusing on their cooking show or reviews, would be D20 Coup de Grace. How are you?
Yes, that is me. I'm playing Goa'uld, the Rebel Jafar Scout / culinary reviewer. I'm happy to review some more Tari dishes today.
Wonderful. Fabulous. Thank you. And of course, we have our guest for this evening, Donathan Fry. How are you this night?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm Don, and I am playing Svaril, totally normal and unassuming Jaffa.
I'd have helped if I spelled your name right. Don't worry, I'll get it right. Nogosaurus, I spelled your name right. How are you?
I am doing great. Sorry, my bad. No, I'm good. I'm a little
fix that right now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Everything's a little wonky today. It's one of those days. I'm Nogosaurus. I'm the Gate Master. I will be running you guys through tonight's episode. But before we do that, let's just do a quick little recap of last time we played. I know it's been a little bit of time. So when we last left our adventuring group here, they found themselves in a strange reality where they were all human and getting ready to celebrate a 4th of July, block party in San Diego, California. Nothing weird about that at all. As they went about their day, started getting, supplies that they needed for the party, Gork started amassing some weapons that he was trying to sell during the party. I'm not quite sure what was going on with Gork there. You guys ended up noticing some glitches. Some strange things were happening. Some people in the world around you were starting to repeat and, act strange. Turns out you guys somehow, for one way or the other, I think it was actually Ixora who first busted through the simulation, found out that you guys were we're in some sort of virtual reality, that something happened. There was a glitch. Through a series of science checks, you guys discovered that the Stargate was open. There was a solar flare, and you guys are well aware of the fact that there is a solar flare that interacts with a Stargate, bad things happen. Things go wrong. Things go wonky. You guys were able to disconnect the Stargate, get everything all squared away, get out of the virtual reality where you found that your memory started to come back, and you found that you had been helping a somewhat doomed society create a virtual world that they could all live in underground, safe away from the toxic environment of their planet, which you guys were successfully able to do. Fiddler had some very, very successful rolls at the end where he fixed all their problems, got them all squared away. After that, you guys headed back to Stargate Command, and just went about your lives. It's been a couple weeks since. Nothing has been happening. It's actually been kind of a weird lull after your time with Lacan. You guys haven't really been on that many missions. Nothing's really been happening. But you did get, all of you have gotten a summons to meet with General Lawyer at 8 o'clock, so 8 in the morning, 0800 military time, because they are military. And what would you be doing early in the morning before you're set to meet with the general? Let's start with Ixora. Ixora, what are you doing at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Having a nice cup of tea.
Okay. Yeah, so I imagine does Ixora have her own like teapot and stuff in her
Oh, yes.
room? Would she do it socially? Like
I
at the
imagine
mess?
she makes it in her room, but then she walks around with it.
Okay, okay.
Enjoy the outdoors or the atmosphere of the area. But she makes it in her room so she can control all the factors that go into it. Because there's a science behind making tea. Has to be the proper water temperature, steeped the right amount of time, proper, brewing materials, honestly. Yes, it is an art and a science.
And you've been with the Phoenix program for some time now, and you've actually discovered some new teas and some new recipes. So you've got one of those now. It's similar to hibiscus, but it's a little bit earthier than hibiscus tea is. It was given to you by one of the UNOS ambassadors, as you guys were working a couple weeks ago. You guys were working on a project together, and they offered it to you when you guys got on the subject. You are outside. Because if I remember correctly, you don't actually live in the base. You live in Haven,
it's too
right?
disconnected from nature.
Yeah. So you are making your way to the base. Just taking your time. It's probably before 8. I imagine Ixora is.
She's an early bird. She's like with the
early
dawn.
bird. Yeah. You see,
She started watching the sunrise
Haven
this morning. It's
You've had all of your morning meditations,
yoga,
all of that. Yeah. You see, so that the town of Haven, between the town of Haven and the entrance to the underground base of the Phoenix Command, it's all farmlands and groves and things like that. So you are walking down one of the main paths towards the Phoenix entrance when you hear the telltale signs of a golf cart coming up behind you. Not much longer later, it does slow down and stop next to you, and you see Haim in the driver's seat.
Our
and he's
operator.
like, yes, your gate operator, yes. He's like, hey, Ixora, you want to catch a ride? I'm going in to base.
I think the tea is almost fully drank. She's definitely walking barefoot because we're on, the farmland area, so I think she will, she doesn't want to, but it would seem rude to decline. So I think she would just say, "Thank you for your consideration. Yes, I will accompany." And imagine she's got her shoes just tucked into a side, they're like flats, just tucked into a side satchel, and just put those on real quick, and then get in the golf cart, squeeze down.
Yeah, you gotta crouch a little bit.
It's
it's a human-sized, human-sized golf cart.
Ridiculous.
So it's a little short
tall.
for your height.
I'm so tall.
I thought you were 7.
I am 7. That's right. Yeah, I'm so
7.
tall.
Yeah, so tall. So he waits for you to get settled, get hopped on, and then he drives you the rest of the way into Phoenix Command. As you guys are driving through the last leg of the farmland, go ahead and make me a perception check, please.
Oh, okie dokie. Okie dokie, artichoke. Artichoke. Perception 10.
10. Okay.
Unless I had advantage, and then it's a 21.
Not just a 10, unfortunately.
I have a +8. I rolled 2.
2. Jeez. Yeah, no, just just
Yep.
it's a very pleasant. It seems like it's probably going to be a warmer day. You guys are coming out of the spring season. You're kind of in that limbo between spring and summer.
Yes, yes.
So it's cool right now, but you imagine it'll be hotter throughout the day. The orchard smells very nice. You're in the apple orchard part right now. Smells fantastic. And not much longer, you guys arrive in the gates of Phoenix Command. You guys go through security. You're used to this process. Takes you about like 10-15 minutes to go through the check and do your scans and all of that. But then Haim drops you off, and then he heads off in his direction, and you are free to go where you want to go. You're about 10 minutes early for your meeting.
Sounds about right for me. Get my notepad prepped and ready and go wait in the waiting area.
Perfect. All right. And you do know it's in the essentially the memo said it's going to be in the main briefing room above the Stargate. So you head on over there. But before we get to that, Fiddler. What's Fiddler doing early in the morning before an 8 a.m. meeting?
I imagine that Fiddler is face down on his desk, surrounded by his last project where he fell asleep and is still basically snoring and drooling on some piece of electronics that's just lying there.
Okay.
That's-
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Roll me a you're asleep. So a perception check at disadvantage, please.
Perception check at disadvantage. That would
It
be a
doesn't
9.
matter. We're gonna roll
9. Yeah.
That would be a 9.
Roll. Yeah.
Don't need disadvantage. It's
We don't
always
need
gonna be
disadvantage.
disadvantage in this game.
Right,
Yeah.
That's
So
I am sound asleep.
yeah, you're just snoozing away. Nothing, you're having a real nice dream about your project. It's coming along fantastically.
Always.
It's actually giving you some ideas about, like, you don't realize you're in a dream, but you imagine when you wake up that you'd have some inspiration for that.
Absolutely.
For your project. But we're gonna pause there with you, Fiddler. Sorry, excuse me. Gorik, what are you doing early in the morning?
Well, I think that if we haven't had a mission for a few weeks, I think Gorik has gone stir crazy.
Okay.
So, he's just been sitting in the dark in the briefing room for the last 3 hours.
Okay, absolutely. Have you eaten breakfast? Have you, gotten anything, or
Oh
did
yeah, he had his breakfast
okay,
at
okay.
4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in
Yeah.
the morning? Okay.
Yeah.
We're early risers, us too.
Yeah. Okay. You are sitting in the briefing room. You've been here for a while. It's too dark in the room. No lights have come on. You can't really tell what time it is. It also doesn't help that it's an underground base. But you hear some, noise on the other side of a door, and then it swings open. You see just a staff member. You've seen them around, you don't know them. They flip on a light, and then they move, like they have like a push cart, and they move it over to one of the tables, and they start putting like coffee and teas and things like that.
Do you have a
They don't-
dossier?
They give out a little scream. They were not expecting somebody to be in here. They do the kind of thing and jump and gasp and no, I'm just bringing the breakfast snacks and stuff. They check their about 45 minutes early.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna finish and go. Sorry. And then they just very quickly, very uncomfortably finish up their put everything down, and then they are gone.
I'll go make myself a coffee.
Yeah, and it's Stargate Phoenix, they have good coffee. Like, it's not bad. You've had better coffee, but it's not bad. It's not burnt. There are Tauri danishes, and there are a bunch of fruits and stuff. There are you see a couple like classic Jaffa, like little snack side dishes, not any like full meals or anything. Kind of like what you would see at like an early morning PTA meeting, just like little bits and bobs. You're able to get your fill of whatever you would like, and then nobody else comes in for another about 35 minutes until you see Xora arrive.
Good morning, Gorik.
Finally. It's good to see you.
It is
Really
good to
good.
see you as well. Yes, I assume you are excited about today's mission.
Oh, yes. I hope it's something off-world.
As do I. I've been doing a lot of research and study, but it would be good to get out in the field again. On a different planetary. Oh, is that fresh fruit? I'm just gonna load up some fresh fruit and some tea, you know. Classic Ixora stuff.
The usual.
The
As
usual.
you are filling up your plate, you see a couple more people come in. You recognize Jesse, which you guys know is your handler. You then also see a couple members of Phoenix One. Selena Rodriguez comes in, followed by Atir, who is Selena is the captain. Atir is their Jaffa specialist. And then you also see Kol'chota come in as well. She is also a Turin, excuse me. They all come in together. They're just kind of like
How do you
talking
spell that
quietly
last
among
name?
themselves.
Because I wrote down cholera, and I just wanted to like fix that.
It's Kulera.
Yes, that does not. Yes, that is
Kol'chota.
spelled much better. That does look like cholera.
Kol'chota. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
They're just kind of all just quietly chatting amongst themselves.
I
They
give
see you guys
Gorik
nod.
a look like that's SGP.
You just see Gorik kind of have bit of a smile, like
He's like, "Oh, this is gonna be
must-
good."
This must be big.
It's gonna be good. Yeah. You guys do know, the last time you guys were on a mission with SGP-1, you ended up trapped in
space, lost
in
in space,
lost in space in
in
a
a land before
Goa'uld,
time.
banished queen's spaceship experiment sphere thing. So it should be fun. Not much longer, you guys see a couple other people come in. You actually see a member of the Haven Council as well. You see Toli, who is the Tok'ra ambassador. The human's name is Sulo, and then the symbiote's name is Toli, Tolii. And then you also see Rayana, who is the Jaffa council member as well. They both come in together and they look concerned. They where SGP-1 is a little bit more relaxed, thinking, typical mission, nothing strange here. The members of the Jaffa Council, or excuse me, Haven's Council, are a little bit more tense. Gorik, you are particularly surprised by them walking in together because Tok'ra and Jaffa typically have not had the best relationships, so them coming in together is a little concerning. Not much later, you see
Smile
the rest.
just gets bigger.
Yeah, bigger. Something's going on. That you guys are getting that clue. Something's going on. The rest of SG1 or SGP1, excuse me, comes in as well. You have not seen General Lawyer yet. And you are also not seeing Fiddler, and you're not seeing Jake. They have not arrived just yet. And on that note, yeah,
What
go
time
ahead.
is it?
Right now it's probably like 5-6 minutes to the meeting, so not late yet, but pushing it a little bit. And General Lawyer is very much so on time.
I am going to go straight to Fiddler's room.
Okay, all right. As you head on over there, Fiddler, go ahead and make me another perception check, please.
Your alarm's been going off for 20 minutes straight.
Probably for an hour at this point.
Probably for
11.
a bit. 11. Okay, yes. This time you do hear in your dream world there is a blaring alarm going off, and it does jerk you out of your sleep.
In my dream, it's like an explosive about to go off that I set, so it's like it's a very good dream. I'm enjoying
down.
it. Yeah.
It is rudely interrupted by your alarm.
Oh.
You're 5 minutes out from your meeting that you were summoned to last night.
Okay. Fiddler will just, he basically wears what he's got on. He's still got, another one of the aquatic sports ball jerseys he likes wearing. And he's got one of those on. He's got his hat on. He's just disheveled, slept in look. He just grabs like a notepad and runs out the door and probably runs directly into Goa'uld.
Not directly. So you open up your door. You're headed in that direction. As you round a corner, Goa'uld, you are rounding the same corner, going in Fiddler's direction, and you guys, both of you, make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, excellent. Dexterity saving throw. Oh, here it is. I'm actually good at that. There we go. 22.
22. Very nice. And 17. Okay, yeah, you guys are able to stop yourselves from slamming into each other. But yeah, Goa'uld.
Surprise your wig.
I am. I'm quite surprised I'm awake as well. So
yeah, I just hand you a coffee.
Oh, thank.
We have less than 5 minutes to get back to the briefing room. Are you up for a jog?
No, but I don't think that means anything. So let's go. So I try and keep up with Goa'uld, and he's the picture of Jaffa fitness, and I'm the engineer that just does what he can to keep up. So, yeah.
It doesn't take you guys long to get back. Fiddler, your rooms aren't too far from like the Stargate and the main. You're essentially on the edge of the barracks, where if you need to get there in a pinch, you can get there relatively quickly.
Also, when something explodes, it's not as detrimental to the rest of people sleeping. Exactly.
They can still sleep in relative peace, knowing you're not that close. So you guys arrive, and you guys actually arrive, like literally get in your seats seconds before General Lawyer opens up the door to his office and comes out. As he does enter, there is a bit of a hush. You guys can pick up that SGP1 has picked up that this is a little strange, because the members of the Jaffa and Tok'ra members of the Haven Council are here. And they seem as interested as you guys are. You are all seated. You do not have any files in front of you, which is a little unusual. Normally there is a mission briefing.
Sora loves the files.
Yeah, the files are half the fun. General Lawyer.
Where's the fun without the paperwork?
You have to have the paperwork. It has to be authorized, right? General Lawyer does not sit. He stands at the edge of the table. He is a little. You guys can give me insight checks if you would like to see, just kind of get a read on him.
To give you an insight check. 16.
I'm going to give myself disadvantage. It's a 4.
4. Okay.
I'm not really paying attention.
Okay, fair. Goa'uld 10. Okay.
Yeah.
10. Okay. So Goa'uld and Fiddler, you guys definitely get that vibe. Something's not quite right here. This seems serious. Ixora, you have been with Phoenix Command for a while now. You're pretty good at reading people. General Lawyer is an odd mix of worried and excited. Like, those aren't normally emotions that you see on his micro expressions, but that is what you're getting. And
there's no
oddly
paperwork.
Excited, oddly worried.
Ixora is
There's
concerned.
no paperwork. Yeah. A couple seconds later, he does begin to address you all. Thank you all, first of all, for meeting with me today. I do appreciate the relatively short notice. We have received some intelligence that one of our allies will be experiencing a visit from one of the lesser Goa'uld overlords. We do not know how credible this intelligence is. It did not come from one of our normal sources. It came from a source that we are reluctant to trust. But if there is the opportunity and the possibility that these people will be attacked, then obviously it's our duty to do something about it. We do not have much intelligence about the planet that you will be on. We do know it is inhabited. We have spoken with the tribes that are closest to the Stargate once before. They did not seem too open to our alliance, a partnership with us, so we did not pursue anything per their wishes. But given the circumstances, their leadership has allowed us to return, given what is happening. The general goal, Phoenix 1, you will be obviously the main force. You're going to go in. You will be doing any type of recon that you can, figure out what the situation is, figure out maybe if you can find who this person was that gave us this intelligence. It was a secure data burst that I will allow you to listen to before you leave. Again, not our usual source, but he looks reluctant to be even giving this briefing. He doesn't seem comfortable with this. And Ixora, with your 16, you know that he is a man of like plans and action.
Yeah.
He
likes things
likes
more
to
solid.
know. He likes to know the situation before going in. He does not have this here. He's uncomfortable. Phoenix 3, you guys have been out of the field for some time, given your last couple experiences. If there is a possibility that this is related to Lacan, you all seem to be our best bet in getting in contact with her or any of the people under her influence. If Rock and Katie were one of these possible leaks, one of these possible sources, then it would be nice to hear from them. It's been some time. Your job is to back up Phoenix 1 and, of course, to establish contact with the current leadership of this settlement and see if we can work out some kind of allegiance, some kind of something that they want. Any questions? I know it's not a lot to go on. I know this is a unusual situation. Yes, Ixora.
Is Lieutenant Jake Miller not going to be accompanying us on this mission?
Jake is on a different assignment at the moment.
Oh.
He is back on Earth currently. He can tell you all about that when he comes back. It's not relevant at this time, but he is fine. He will join you when he can. For now, it will be the three of you. I have every confidence that you will be able to do anything that comes at your way. I will assign, I know, aside from you, Goric, the rest of you aren't really fighters. There will be someone waiting for you in the gate room as a additional manpower. Any other questions? Yes, Exora.
I assume this mission is off planet. Do you have any information about the world we are going to?
Not a lot. Like I said, we've only been there once. It is a desert planet. The settlement is by an oasis. They do have, water source. It's not as harsh as the rest of the planet. No high levels of technology that we have detected as of yet. Again, we've had limited time on the planet, so we don't know for sure. Your team does seem to have a knack for sniffing out that kind of thing. So if you find any, please let us know. Locals, like I said, seem friendly enough, just not super interested in an alliance. So if you can get them to come to the table, please do. Yes, Fiddler.
I know you're Tori like to have a consistent chain of command. Without Jake being here, who exactly will be leading our group?
That was my next question. If you didn't ask.
I'll be perfectly happy to nominate myself because I was the only person more experienced with the SG program. Maybe it would be just an easy transition, or are you planning on sticking us with a new fuddy-duddy that I have to put up with again. I don't really have the best reactions for some strange command structures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, while I do understand you have, out of the three of you, the most experience with the Phoenix Pro and just the Stargate program in general, for this situation, I do think I'm going to put Goa'uld in charge, considering it's possibly a hostile situation. We don't know. Don't know the situation. Caution is better than not. But thank you, yes, for offering. Yes, Fiddler.
Begging your pardon, sir. We're going through a situation where delicate negotiations are important. Goa'uld negotiates with his fists more often than. Thank you for the illustration there. Yes. I'm just going to shut up now.
No, I hear you. It's my understanding that the last couple of times y'all have done negotiations, Jake, while a part of that hasn't been the main driving force, and he kind of looks at Ixora a little bit, because the last time you guys negotiated, it was Ixora who.
The last couple times,
yeah.
I put things in social stats.
Yeah. So tactically, while Jake is in charge, I do understand that he is not in charge of every single aspect of what you guys do. Yes, Ixora.
I think Goa'uld is a wonderful nomination for.
Thank you.
Of course you would. Always.
He puts his hands up. He's like, I trust that you guys will be able to handle anything thrown at you, as you have done numerous times in the past.
Those are quite good.
Yes, you guys will be able to adapt to the situation and do what you believe is best. And I don't say this often, but you guys are good at what you do. Yes, Ixora.
Will we be in contact with SGP-1 during this mission, or are we to be separate?
No, yes, you guys are all going together. Communicate with each other. If you guys need anything, back each other up. But Phoenix 1, again, your all's mission is to try and find the source of this data, this information that came to us, and assess any threat that there might be of this impending Goa'uld attack to these people. Phoenix 3, negotiations. Any more questions? Perfect. Thank you, Goa'uld. Phoenix 1 has a couple questions.
Ixora looks like she has more questions, but she's going to not ask them until other people have asked all of their questions and hope that hers will be answered with someone else asking.
Yeah. Phoenix 1, they ask a couple technical questions, like what gear, what type of recon are they expected to do, yada yada yada, the typical stuff. But other than that, they are all set. And they are ready to go whenever you guys are ready to go.
Excuse me. We gotta bring one of those little welcome kits.
Yes,
those
it'll be waiting for you in the
Yeah.
gate prep room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do diplomancy. We gotta have some.
Goa'uld's gonna go dress himself like he's preparing for a sandstorm.
Okay. Yeah, you guys do have about an hour between the end of the meeting and when you guys want to head out. So if you want to grab any extra supplies, any specific clothes, anything like that, you guys are more than able to.
Desert clothes. Good call.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sunscreen, hats, that kind of thing.
Important. Oh, Ixora has one of those really wide brimmed sun hats.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
It's adorable. I love it. Not much longer later, you guys are all packed up and ready to go. Are there any additional preparations you like to do before you step through the Stargate?
Wait, yes, I have a question. What's the tension die for this episode?
Oh, that is a good question.
That will let us know.
Yes.
Yep. The tension die for this episode, that's the wrong document. Hold on.
Bring a backup radio.
Yes. Yeah. You guys don't have great luck with your radios, so
I do not.
absolutely. You can
Hey,
bring
we haven't had a chance. Look,
backup
look,
radio.
I picked a specific skill to make our radios work better, so we are good now. I planned for this eventuality.
The tension die is a D10 this
Ooh.
episode.
Okay, bringing extra equipment.
Extra water.
Okay.
Some more rations.
It's pretty tense right now. All right.
Yes.
It's,
yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay.
Medkit,
Okay.
classic
So
stuff.
for those who don't know, the tension die ranges from a D4 to a D20. The tenser the episode, the higher the die. D10 is above average. Possibility for lethality, possible for lethal combat, possible character death, but nothing super extreme. Just that small possibility that it might be there. So yeah, you'll be fine. It'll be fine. But
I'm glad I'm leading this mission.
yes, it'll be great. It'll be totally fine.
Yeah.
So
It's everything you wanted, huh?
Ixora has
Could have passed it to Fiddler. No. You wanted...
complete and utter faith in you as a leader. No pressure.
fine. I haven't killed you guys yet. You'll be fine.
The only one who's almost died is me, and that was my own fault.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Let
was.
me dive into the lake with a really bad creature at the bottom waiting to eat me.
It's only been
twice.
me multiple times, and both times it was my own fault.
Big creature in a lake, stepping into a turreted corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
yeah.
I haven't entered any buildings or lakes since.
We did crawl into a shaft that we probably shouldn't have gone into.
Yeah, there was some. Yep.
A lot of scientific inquiry happens when the two of us are together, and there's no adult supervision.
No adult
It's
supervision.
been fine. You guys haven't died yet. It's been fine.
Yeah.
But you guys are able to prep as much as you can. You guys have, just general extra supplies and things like that. Haim, you hear him through the speakers. He's like, "Good luck, guys. Don't get sunburnt. Wear that sunscreen." And then he dials the gate for you guys. Stargate Phoenix 1 goes through first. A couple seconds later, you guys are gestured through. You step through, you get that familiar sensation of, the shivers, being very cold, being like pulled from your belly button through the wormhole before you materialize out on the other side. And it is hot, like dry desert heat, very, very toasty. You guys are immediately sweating. It's not a great time. But you are on the planet of General Lawyer would have told you the name of the planet, even though I didn't. Hold on. Where is it?
AP7.
Okay, hold on. I had it here somewhere.
Sure you did.
I know it starts with an A. Let me look at my notes. Alvatis. 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 You are on the planet of Alvatis. It does also have a codex number, but I'm not gonna look that up right now.
That's important. Yeah.
It's not the important one. The locals call it Alvatis.
Is
Stargate
it like
Phoenix 1?
sandy desert or rocky desert?
By the Stargate, it looks pretty rocky.
Okay.
You can see spreading out, though, it does devolve into like a sand desert.
Cool.
You guys step through the Stargate. Phoenix 1 is getting a lay of the land. You see they've got their tech out there, doing some scans, doing some general just scouting of the area. The Oringo comes over to you guys. He is the Unos member of Stargate Phoenix 1. He comes over to y'all and gives you guys kind of like a nod of greeting. I believe we are going to head towards the Oasis here in a moment once they give the all clear. Do you have any scouts, anything you would like to do before we leave?
I look at Korik.
I want to set up a little surveillance at the gate.
Okay, absolutely. Roll me.
That's a good idea since we're expecting an invasion. Good
Yeah,
job.
Yeah. You
Peter
can give me
Ulrich.
either like a. There's not like a technology.
You know what? I'll tell Fiddler to set up some
Okay,
surveillance
okay.
I
on the
was
game.
going to give you so much crap. If you didn't- I was
Yes,
just
please
waiting.
have your engineer.
Fiddler would have his arm crossed, like, what are you doing, Gorick?
Fiddler,
What
please
you
roll
need?
me either an engineering or a science check. Since Gorick is like directing / helping you, I will give you advantage.
I didn't need it. 23.
23. Okay, yes. You are able to set up a also roll me a stealth check.
All right.
Same
Stealth
thing
or
you'll-
sleight of hand?
Whichever you prefer.
They're both the same. I will go with sleight of
Okay.
hand.
Sleight of hand.
Not as good. 10.
Okay. You're able to you don't think they'll be spotted super easily. You're able to set up a series of just like a couple of cameras in the vicinity, like amongst the rocks by the Stargate, things like that. So you might have some forewarning if there is any type of Stargate activity. And you imagine that they're hidden enough that they're not going to be immediately spotted. And you set them up to, I believe you have a like a is it like a wrist computer? What do you have? You have like an advanced
Yeah,
system.
I have engineering kit, the personal computer. I keep a lot of technology systems on me.
Okay,
tablet and I'm ready for whatever.
Yeah.
I'm the ancient technology guy, so I'm ready
Yes.
for all of it.
Yeah, essentially you're able to hook it up to either your tablet or your personal computer, whatever you want, that you'll be alerted if there is any activity in the vicinity of the gate, whether the gate activates or if, there's any people around
I
it,
connect it to
anything like
my tablet, and I use my comms tech ability, which gives us extended range instead of 5 kilometers, just 20 kilometers. So that way, depending on how far away the oasis is, it stays in contact.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, you guys are able to do that. And then unless there's anything else you want to do, Stargate Phoenix 1 will begin to head out.
I do want to do one thing.
Absolutely.
I want to look at the most obvious surveillance device that I set up, and I want to rig it to explode if someone messes with it.
Absolutely.
With my new ability.
With your new ability.
Nice.
Do you have to make a roll for that, or can you just do it?
It says, let's see, it says pre-planned obsolescence. I may rig a machine to explode as an action. I can choose a mechanical device. And if you choose it, I can conceivably rig it to explode. It will if someone messes with it next time.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, it's a relatively simple camera that you're messing with, so you're very easily able to rig it to explode if anybody tampers with it. It will now you imagine it's not going to be like a super huge explosion, but it'll be enough to disorient, possibly harm someone. Yeah.
Take off a finger.
Yeah, blow off a finger, blow off a hand, something like that. Absolutely.
And I alert everyone. Mess with the rest, don't touch that one. All right? That one, the obvious one that everyone will mess with. Yes.
You get a chorus of understanding from Phoenix 1.
They all know my propensity for making things explode.
Yeah, for making they are well aware. You also see Bythal, Bythal, who is one of the
Bithel. It's like Bissell with a list.
Bithal. Yeah, Bithal. Fuck. You see them also setting up a series of like tripwires around the area.
Oh.
You're not totally sure what they're setting up, but they seem to be setting it up around the vicinity of like your cameras and stuff, kind of in the same area.
Just take a little vial of sand on my way.
Some samples.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Roll me a science check.
Ooh. Science check. Just kidding. Every grain of sand here is secretly a nano chip thing. Science. There it is. Boop.
That's
25. I science so
25.
good.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes Bithel, it takes Fiddler some time to set up their equipment, the things that they're doing.
You
so
do
while you do
so
that, you
much
do
sciencing while they're
yeah.
up.
And you do a bit of sciencing. You scoop up some of this sand and you do like just some minor field experiments on it. It has some like unusual properties, like sand on different planets.
It's
yes,
coarse. It rough.
it,
It
yeah,
gets everywhere.
it's rough, gets everywhere. Hate it. It's pretty universal. Like obviously it's going to be made up of different things, but it has the same general qualities.
Mm-hmm.
This sand is very old. You don't think based off of like the what you're able to date of the particles that you get. It's very old and it's higher in minerals. There are some minerals that you're seeing in like your results that you don't typically see in desert planets.
High mineral content.
Yes.
Notebooks out. I'm scribbling while we walk.
Absolutely. But other than that, unless Gorik, you have something you would like to do at the gate. Okay.
I think we've accomplished what we needed to do here.
Perfect. You guys,
it just passive aggressively reports back. All done, sir. All of your commands have been done to the fullest extent of my abilities. Is there anything else to do, sir?
I think we should head towards the settlement now.
Of course. Yes, sir. All right, sir.
There is such a high mineral content in the sand. Oh, we're moving. Okay.
Gorik just doesn't notice.
Yeah. Gorik does not.
This kind of goes over Gorik's head. You see, Fiddler, you see a couple members of Phoenix One just kind of giving you like chuckles and like knowing looks, and you imagine they've been in possibly similar situations and they get it. Y'all head out. You know the general direction of the settlement. It's not too far away. It's like an hour walk from the Stargate. It's very hot. You guys definitely go through a portion of your water, but you know that the settlement is at an oasis, so you'll be able to refill.
And I brought extra.
And on a random note, Fiddler, Fiddler wears sunglasses inside because of his, subterranean background. And so out here, he literally has welding goggles on because it's the only way he can handle the bright sunlight. So it's a little bit more extreme than normal.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you had plenty of time to be able to prepare for that. You knew this was coming, so absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys, about an hour later, begin to see, it kind of starts out like as you think it might be a mirage at the beginning, like it's very hazy in the distance. And then as you get closer, some of the structures come into more solid focus and more, you can actually see that these are real and it's not a mirage. There are a series of, they're not quite tents, but they're not quite buildings either. They seem to be in some sort of transition phase in their development as a society. You do see a couple like sections where there are still just tents set up that these people are living in, but then you see there's like a whole like building off to one side as well, and then you see some that it's half building, but then the like half of it's tent and it's open aired, and they seem to be, like I said, in a transition kind of stage in their development. As you guys approach, a group of people come out towards you. Phoenix One kind of hangs back a little bit since you guys are supposed to be doing the negotiations. They let you guys take the lead and kind of post up behind you a little bit. Yeah, no pressure. It's fine.
As I walk up, I'm just like, Exora.
Exora, take over. Yeah. You see there's a solid number of people, I'd say about like 15-20 people coming to greet you guys. The general vibe that you're getting is they're a little wary. Like you're used to people either being outright hostile or being very welcoming whenever you guys come. They're kind of somewhere in between. Like they're not attacking you, but they're also not super pleased that you're here, is the general vibe that you're getting.
Are they brandishing weapons?
No, so a couple of them do have weapons, and they seem to be like a variety of spears and like bows and things like that. Nothing to y'all's level of technology. but none of them are raised. They just seem to have them as a precaution. You are approached by a tall man, actually 3 relatively tall men. The tallest of them, it does not come anywhere near your height, Ixora. They are tall by human standards, not a Turin standards.
So like a foot shorter than me.
Basically, yeah. The first man that's kind of like leading this group here introduces himself as Balil. Hello, I am Balil. I am in charge at the moment of this tribe. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for your greetings. I am Ixora, and these are my companions, Fiddler and Gorik. Another group of individuals that are also friends. And I will introduce just, the members of SGP1, so that way, like, everyone's, like, I'm not trying to hold anything back, like,
yeah.
Here, this is who we all are.
Yes. And you're able to, you introduce, I will go through them because it's been a while since we've seen them. You introduce Selena, the captain, Atir, the Jaffa. You introduce Burville, the Tolan, Kalera, the Aturan, Lonnie, the Colonan, Bithel. You also introduce Aringo as the Unos as well. They seem a little wary of Aringo.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine they haven't seen an Unos before, and they're just kind of they stay away from him a little bit. He doesn't seem bothered by this. He seems, even unfortunately on Phoenix base, the Unos are not many in number, and people are not used to seeing them.
Ixora is tries to make up for that fact by being very friendly with the Unas back at Phoenix Command.
Yeah, and you imagine that's probably why they share tea recipes and stuff with you.
Probably.
He gestures kind of like behind him, past where all the people are, where you see that at the edge of their settlement there is the oasis. Before we begin anything, would you all like to refill your waters and replenish?
Please, that would be most generous and grateful.
Of course. They will show you the way, and I will prepare our meeting space.
Thank you very much.
Of course. He goes away. You see he goes into one of the 3 buildings that is an actual full building. It's made out of like clay bricks kind of thing. You imagine they don't have very much wood here. You see him disappear into there, and then one of the other men, he introduces his name as Leander, and he leads you guys over to the oasis, where you are able to kind of wander around a little bit and replenish and do whatever you would like.
Yep. Ixora will make sure everyone refills, even if they're like, oh, I only took a few sips. You're refilling your water at the oasis. Basically momming everyone into refilling it.
Fiddler completely ignores her because he's scanning. He's doing signal scanning at this point in time.
She will refill it for you. She'll take it off.
Yeah, he's just like, not even paying attention. She takes it like out of his pack and fills it up for it. He's just like scanning for any signals, seeing if there's any interference, looking for the telltale signs that we find of different technology. And
I take a vial of water.
Absolutely. Yes. And funny that you would mention signals, Fiddler. Roll me.
How about that?
This is why we find all the tech. Is we're like, look at this place that definitely obviously doesn't have any. But what if?
But what if?
We don't trust anything. That tree over there looks a little strange. Maybe it's technology. Let's check it.
Maybe
it worked once. It was technology one time.
Once. It could work at any other time.
You can roll me a science, or actually, let's go with an engineering. Roll me an engineering check, please.
Engineering, okay.
So we don't get stuck in another time violation
Christmas
loop.
colors.
No.
One in natural 20. So now if it's certain types of technology, I can get advantage on these things or add other stuff. So
let me see.
I can't believe that. See, this is what happens.
No, I can give you a die bonus, but not a.
Yeah.
It's not gonna give you. Yeah. No advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
I can get your
That's it.
die
I
at some point.
don't see anything.
Yeah, so you're getting just like the general like background radiation of the universe kind of thing. Nothing is really sticking out at this point.
I imagine
But
I'm having a hard time reading my tablet with
Because the
these
sun's so
welding
bright.
goggles on,
Yeah, like there
and
is a
I'm not able to.
fluctuation,
Yeah,
but
I'm
you
not able to
can't
pick it
see it
up.
because it's like the one color that filters through the most. With
Exactly,
the,
exactly. It's
glasses.
right there in front of me, and I just can't see it. No one else. Right? Yeah, that's what's happening.
there
Wow, what's
is
that big spike?
another engineer though.
I mean, I don't see anything. It's just background noise.
It's gone now.
It was never there.
Wow.
She doesn't roll much better. Okay. Yeah, you guys don't, notice anything, just general background radiation.
Mhm.
Nothing seems out of place at this particular moment. Not much longer later, you guys have refilled. Nothing seems to be amiss. You do see Phoenix 1 kind of branches off from you guys a little bit. And they do wander into the settlement and just kind of they're just looking like they're curious, just peeking around. Some people are like, if they look like they're gonna look into a building, some people are like standing in the doorways kind of thing. You imagine it's more so a distrust of strangers than any kind of malice, but it's not an easy atmosphere that you guys are getting at the moment. Not much longer later, Leander does guide you guys back to the building that Belial disappeared into. And when you enter, you do see he set up about 6 chairs, 3 on one side of the table and 3 on the other. He is sitting on one side of the table. No one seems to be with him at the moment.
Okay.
And he just gestures for you guys to join him.
Thank you. Sit down.
Of course.
In whichever chair gives the most leg room.
One of the end chairs.
That's the one Ixora picks then.
Yeah. There is a so like the way the table is, it's got like a central column in the middle kind of thing. So sitting on the ends gives you plenty of leg space. Gork, Fiddler, do you guys sit as well? Where are you guys posting up?
Gork will sit in the middle.
Okay.
Sits next to Gorik.
Okay, absolutely. You guys take a seat. He has like cups of water set out for you guys. You imagine water is a big thing around here. In desert societies, it is precious. More precious than gold or anything like that.
Something also precious is salt, so Ixora would have brought some of that.
Okay, yeah. He does have a like a I want to say trinket tray, but like that's the wrong. He's got like a platter. There we go. He's got like a platter out for you guys. It has a couple artifacts. You see it's got like a spearhead. There is like a really nice beaded necklace.
Ixora is immediately just like, wow.
Yeah,
like,
there's a couple things cool, there.
But it's
like
artifact.
There's a couple things there on the tray that he has kind of like set in front of him to the side. Ixora, roll me a culture check.
I would love to roll you a culture check. I don't think I get any bonuses for culture. Okay, I do if it's... But okay, no, not applicable to this specifically. I'm more of a naturalist, but you know. Culture. 11. Okay. One day I'll roll a 2-digit number.
Yeah, I mean, easy enough. It wasn't a hard check. You imagine that these are possible gifts if the negotiations go well.
I see.
You've seen this before, when you were on the planet where Lacan was doing those studies where you guys found that symbol in her journal. They had similar things set aside for you guys as well, as if things went well, they were gifts that they would grant, essentially. That seems to be a common practice in this galaxy, or this portion of the galaxy, is to have gifts, just if things go well. He doesn't seem super eager to start this conversation. Just, I mean, without even any kind of check, he is very wary of you all, and it doesn't look like you get the feeling that this is his last resort kind of thing, kind of vibe that
Ooh,
you're getting from him.
Interesting.
Again, good day.
Good day.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
The-
letting us come here.
Of course, of course. The first time your people came to us, please understand we were under the thumb of the Goa'uld for a long time and are reluctant to be under anyone's thumb again.
Understandable.
While I understand that the Tal'ri have made good strides in this galaxy against the Goa'uld, we are reluctant, just to be forthright with you.
Your hesitations are completely normal and to be expected, honestly.
Thank you, thank you. And to continue with the trail of honesty, I would not have reached out if it were not a last resort. Perhaps I should allow you to listen to what we received, and then we can go from there.
Certainly. I do have a
He-
gift for you all as well while you are having that retrieved, and I'll pull out the little gift box. That's got the Stargate gift box. That's got the chocolate and stuff in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I imagine was in like her pouch, which is a little insulated, so it wouldn't have melted on the way here.
Have melted, yeah.
And then and like just like a like a block of Himalayan pink salt or something.
Okay.
Like just a hunk, just like a salt block.
He looks a little like surprised and a little confused. Oh, all right.
And she will explain what each thing is in the box and stuff.
Okay. Sure, I suppose. And he gets his gifts as well, and he will offer them back. You imagine, like, he wasn't expecting the gifts to be exchanged before negotiations. So he's a little confused, but he offers his gifts.
Ixor is more like, rather than like this is a sign of our goodwill. We are expecting nothing in return, but we are giving these to you freely as
He will accept an offer back in return. But while you guys do that exchange, Lysander brings a piece of technology that does not fit with their level of
does it look Goa'uld?
It does. Immediately you guys all recognize it as Goa'uld. He sets it down in front of, or he hands it to you, Gorik, if you hold your hand out for it. He hands it to you. You recognize this as an audio device. We received this device through the Stargate yesterday.
Oh dear.
Early morning yesterday. Warning of us of an impending Goa'uld attack.
I see.
We did not know where we cannot defend ourselves against the Goa'uld. So we reached out to you, and we hope that you can help with that. Please listen. And if you play it, if you play it, you hear a voice. It's a little scrambled. You can't. The device looks like it's taken a little bit of a beating. Like maybe it didn't have the easiest journey here. And the voice is a little corrupted, so you can't quite pinpoint like any features about it.
I hand it to Fiddler.
Okay, you hand it to Fiddler.
Fiddler's been right, like
gimme.
Just waiting for
You hand it to Fiddler. Fiddler, you can go ahead and make me a science check if you want to like clear up the communication.
I would like to.
Can I
Science,
assist?
engineering.
Whichever you prefer. And yes, Ixor, you can assist, and you will have advantage.
Okay.
Since you are both techies.
25.
25. Absolutely. Easy peasy. You are familiar with Goa'uld technology. It's adapted from ancient technology. You are able to clear it up. It's still jarbled. Unfortunately, you can make it out clearly. You still can't just make any identifying like male, female, anything like that. You don't recognize the voice, anything like that. So you press play and you hear I understand you have no reason to trust me, but please believe me when I say that you are in grave danger. There is a Goa'uld lord who is under the impression that you have something of his that he wants, and he will not stop until he receives it. I suggest you leave. Do not be there when we arrive. And the message ends.
Interesting. Quite a dire warning.
And you can see our concern and why we reached out. My big concern with that message is the we. It sounds to me, in my opinion, of my dealings with the Goa'uld, that this is a person under their, employ is the wrong word, reign, under their control. I cannot think of a reason why one of their own would warn us if it was not a trap to make us leave our lands.
That is a possibility. However, there are a fair number of Jaffa that are quite unhappy with the status quo of Goa'uld in Jaffa society.
He gives Gorik a look. Because he clocked that immediately. Gives Gorik a look, and while we respect that some Jaffa may no longer be under the thumb of the Goa'uld, we do not view it as a rule.
As
and
you should
are
not. But it is something to take
wary
into
of
consideration as a possibility.
That is understandable, yes.
I have a few questions.
Of course.
How many people are here at your settlement?
At this particular settlement, we have several hundred. We have not counted our numbers recently, but the last time we did a count, about 700, give or take.
All right.
While this is going on, I am taking the device apart.
Absolutely.
Just field stripping it right there on the table in front of her. Not even paying attention. I'm looking to see if there's any other transmitters, if there's other receivers. Is it a listening device? Is it a detonated to blow up? Because I certainly would make it, make it a detonation device if I could. And so I'm just devout. Like while she's like, as soon as she said, "I'm asking questions," there was like, okay, I've got like an hour. Okay, I've got
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I imagine
you
like Exora's nickname at base is like 50 questions, Exora or something. Exora 20 questions or something.
20 questions. Fiddler, yes, you are able to pull it apart, and you can roll your science check over with that. Let's continue with Exora's questions first, and then we'll get to the device.
22.
So,
Perfect.
how long ago were your people last under the thumb of Goa'uld oppression?
You see him, he's like, his wheels are turning. I was a young boy. Probably 40, 50 years or so.
See.
We are relatively new to our freedom.
See. And did the Goa'uld leave behind any ruins or buildings, areas that they once occupied?
Are some what are they called? The pyramid docking stations.
Yes.
Those.
Yeah.
I think there's a technical term for them, but I cannot think of it at the moment. There are a set of docking stations, so several days' journey away, but we moved from there because obviously.
Understandable. Imagine the Oasis is a nicer setup anyways.
We prefer it, yes.
Perhaps it would be wise if we could send SG-1, if we could get a vehicle through the Stargate to investigate these ruins. If a Goa'uld is interested in something perhaps he believes you have, Perhaps it is actually something that was left behind at these ruins.
That is possible. I did not think of that. Yes, I think checking those out would probably be good. Would you allow some of our people, some of our explorers, to go with you?
Certainly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Can definitely use the guide.
Yes, it would be helpful to have someone who knows the area.
Of course, I will get our best trackers. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And as much as I would love for these negotiations to continue, I believe we should check in with our other associates and perhaps see if we can get anything to aid expediency in this expedition. If it is a several-day journey, we would like to get there.
Of course, absolutely.
I'm assuming speed is of the essence in this.
Yes, especially considered we don't know exactly when this attack will happen, as the device, as you heard, did not give us a date. So,
correct.
I will have some of my guides accompany you. We do have some means of transportation that would perhaps get you back to the Chapa Eye quicker. And then perhaps if you are not able to get your, I'm sorry, you said vehicles?
A vehicle. Yeah, it's a mode of transportation that moves rather quickly.
Yes. If you're not able to get those through, then you can borrow some of ours to get there.
Thank you.
Of course.
Can you send through like a jeep?
You need some cars.
Like a sand buggy? Like a dune buggy? We just get one of those.
Have you seen one of these before? And I'm going to show up one of our radios.
Ah, yes.
I have not, no.
Yeah. I'm going to try to attempt to teach him how to basically use it.
Okay. Yeah, let me roll a check for him. Yeah, relative. He gets the concept, and you imagine that in the pinch he would be able to use it.
I also write down the channel I need him to be on.
Okay.
Just in case he accidentally switches off of it or something. This is the channel we'll contact you on.
Okay, yeah. You imagine he would be able to possibly get in contact with you if the need be. Fiddler, you have been taking apart this device with your, you said, I'm sorry, 22 for your check? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a standard Goa'uld audio device. It is set to record and transmit. Transmit the recorded device. It doesn't transmit outside. Like, it's not a receiver. It's nothing like that. It is literally just a MP3 player to play things. Okay. There is no tracking. There is no any type of subterfuge. This is literally just an audio device.
Fiddler is disappointed.
It's not rigged to blow, nothing crazy.
Oh, it will be when I'm done.
When you're done.
But other than that, while he's doing that, it seems like everything's quieting down, and Ixora stopped asking her questions. He kind of leans over. It's like, hey, Ixora, do we know which flavor of Jaffa and Lord was here? Like their symbol?
Great question.
You know, because we have that one particular one.
Yeah.
Okay.
One last question before we completely break off. Who was the Goa'uld that had claimed sovereignty over this place? Don't mind. What symbol did his Jaffa bear, or their Jaffa bear?
I do not know the name. Like, as I said, I was very young. Some of our elders, I can ask them and I can see if they remember. This is the symbol, however, and kind of like how you saw Jane Doe, how she had the symbol burned in the back of her neck, branded in the back of the neck. He turns around and he has a symbol branded in the back of his neck, which you guys know at this point is an ancient way of marking their property, unfortunately. But it is not Lacan's symbol. That much you know. You guys don't recognize it. Gorik, you can make me a culture check. You might know this one.
Double no.
No, you got no idea. You have never seen this symbol before.
I just sketch it down.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you.
It's a Goa'uld.
Definitely Goa'uld.
Definitely identified there, boss. Very well done. Very well done.
Very well done.
Pat him on the shoulder.
Liliel will lead you guys out, and then he goes
I'll report
to go
to
find some
SG1.
elders. As you do that, you
Uh-oh.
guys head
They're all
over
dead.
to where you see Selena and a couple of the others. They're conversing, and they've been doing some recon while you guys have been meeting. As you guys reach them, literally as you're about to speak, everyone hears a boom, like a sonic boom, like a ship entering atmosphere.
Oh no.
And above you in the sky, you see a projection. Before you is immediately you recognize it as a Goa'uld. He's got the glowing eyes. He has he looks almost skeletal. Like, you can tell he's very old, which is strange because Goa'uld are very much so vain and beautiful, and they are in their sarcophagi frequently. He's gaunt. His skin looks a little sickly. He's got kind of like a crazed look to his eyes, and he looks mad. But behind him, you see a Jaffa with a gold first prime symbol on their forehead. And Dawn, could you please describe Savarl for us?
So Savarl, the Jaffa, standing behind this Goa'uld, is the almost exact opposite. If the Goa'uld looks very, very old, he looks very young. Man, full grown, tall, broad shoulders, chiseled jaw, entirely bald, almost as though to better display that golden symbol on his forehead. And he doesn't look angry. He doesn't look anything. He looks entirely humorous, staring straight forward, though sometimes there's just a slight tick of his eyes to the back of his master's head.
Amazing. I love it. So that is who you guys see before you. You hear the Goa'uld speak, and as they do, their eyes, the gold of their eyes kind of flickers in a way that you guys are not used to seeing. Normally it's very steady unless it flares up like in their anger. This is a flicker like it's dimming. It's highly unusual for Goa'uld. Gorik, you notice this, especially having a lot of experience with the Goa'uld. And you hear kind of booming from all around you guys this Goa'uld's voice, and he says, "It has been too long since I have been here, and your disregard for my authority can no longer be tolerated, can no longer be tolerated. You have what is mine, hand it over, or I will wipe you from the face of the planet. You see he looks at like something off screen. 3 planetary hours to hand it over, or you're all gone." There's this long pause where it's almost like he's forgotten what he was saying. Like it's very strange. Fiddler, you would recognize it as a human, like a Tauri dementia patients sometimes like lose their train of thought this way. It's highly, highly unusual to see something like this in the Goa'uld. And then he starts speaking again. 3 planetary hours. That is all you have, no more. And the feed cuts. On the Goa'uld's mothership, the overlord, whose name is Kol'chotos, I think. Hold on, I have to check my spelling. Kol'chotos turns to his first prime and he looks at you for a minute, Svarl, and then he starts pacing back and forth, and you know that this is something that he has started doing over the last couple years. It's unusual for him. Normally he is a very put together Goa'uld. And he kind of goes off on a tangent, and I know it's here. It has to be here. It has been, no one has been here. No one took over. It's mine. It's here. I have to get it. I have to get it. Svarl, you have to get it for me. You have to find it.
Yes, Kol'chotos. But you should relax. We are mighty, and they are a small, defenseless community. There's nothing they can do to stand in your way or my way now.
Yes,
Nothing will
yes.
stop you.
Right. Nothing. Yes. And he kind of like repeats himself again and again. After a couple of moments, he does come over to you, and he puts a hand on your shoulder, and you will find it. You will find. I know you will. You always find it. You will find it. You will find it. Yes. And then he just walks away. He highly unusual. You're used to this behavior at this point. It's still alarming to you, because this is relatively new behavior for him, but this is not the first time he has seemed erratic and lost, if that makes sense.
When he starts to walk away, it's almost like Svarl is holding his breath until he's out of the room. Doesn't quite make it that long. There's a short sigh. He keeps it muffled, and his his expression moves from this sort of concern for him to this sort of quiet bitterness, maybe even anger, and then to something like pity. He doesn't say anything. He just waits until he steps out of the room. And is there anyone else in here with us? Any other officers?
Not at this point. You know that recently Kol'chotos has he's been not necessarily distancing himself from his Jaffa, but he has been isolating them. So like it's strange. He's been like sending them to different parts of the ship and then locking down those parts of the ship. It's a level of paranoia that has begun to creep up over the past couple of months and years, honestly. He doesn't really trust any of them. You've gotten that understanding, and he doesn't allow them anywhere near when he's doing any type of planning.
So with room to himself, he'll turn towards whatever the sort of console there is in the room. And is there anything here that would allow me to kind of get a bird's eye view or a scan of the colony, the people, the settlement here, what it looks like?
Absolutely. Yes. So this is essentially the central main control room of the Goa'uld mothership, and there is a main console. Go ahead and make a piloting check.
Okay.
It's a relatively low DC since you were very familiar with these systems. Yeah, easy.
A 13.
Easy peasy. Yeah, you're able to pull up. You've done this 1,000 times before. You pull up essentially a full schematic of the planet. You see a couple pings of different settlements that, according to the maps that the database that the ship were not here previously. They're relatively new. Granted, it's been like 40-50 years, but the landscape of the planet has changed demographically. You also see there are 2 pinpoints which have essentially like tracking homing guidance between the ship and what you would know, you're very familiar with as planetary docking for the mothership as well.
And so he kind of take a look at all of it, review it once over, and then in the opposite order again. And I guess what he's looking for maybe is if they were to move in, if they don't, just sort of fold, strategically, where should they hit them if they wanted to do the most damage, and where should they hit them if they wanted to do the least damage.
Absolutely. You don't see any settlements or anything like that around the docking stations on the planet. These people seem to have moved away from those. The map is showing you the biggest settlement here does have a rather large oasis, and you imagine if anything were to happen to that would cripple them. It seems to be the closest source of water in this region of the planet. If you were looking to do the least amount of damage, any type of like warning shots or anything like that, any of the smaller settlements would probably be the best bet.
And as far as the research that he's looking for, do we have any sort of leads on where we might find it, where it might be?
He has not given you much. He has been very close to the chest about his previous experiments and the research that he is looking for. He has told you that it was last he knew of it, before the coup, that the attacks that caused him to lose a lot of his territory in his experiments. One of his Jaffa had taken it for safekeeping planetside. You don't know. You imagine, being the tactician that you are, that it's probably amongst the people. Somebody probably has it hidden somewhere. But there are no like research bases or anything like that that you're aware of on this planet.
Okay. So kind of after reviewing all the schematics, all the information he has on the planet, he'll just send out a call to, whatever soldiers in Jaffa are here on the mothership and say, "This is First Prime Svaro. We may soon be engaging with people of this planet. It is important that you all understand that the likelihood of the research we're looking for could be in possession of one of the individuals on the surface. It is likely to be in a populated area, and therefore our goal should first and foremost be to leverage these people into giving us what we want and not destroying their property, their lives, unless we must. If we accidentally destroy his research, I can assure you that our great leader will be most displeased with us, and I will hold you personally accountable." That is all.
You get a chorus of Jaffa Cree confirmation responses back from the gathered Jaffa as you give the orders and kind of give them a rundown of what's going to be happening. As you essentially dismiss them, they do go and they start preparing. They load up into the Hataks, all the different spaceships and transportation that the mothership has available to them. But before we go any further, we are going to pause here and we are going to take a quick little 10-minute bio break and just kind of stretch our legs a little bit before we begin a possible invasion of the planet. It'll be fun. It'll be great, guys. Yay. It'll be fine.
All right, so we will see you all in about 10 minutes. Let me just set that up right there. Boom.
Oh, I guess I'm not coming through the gate.
Hey. We are back with Stargate Flames of Hope. Disclaimer, if we lose our gate master, blame hurricanes. And we will be back, week after next, hopefully. But we're here now, so let's pick back up. Over to you.
Yeah, so we're gonna play as long as my power allows us to. So, or until 11, whatever one hits first. So, when we last left off before our break, we were introduced to some Goa'uld and some Jaffa that may or may not be threatening the planet. It's totally fine. Stargate Phoenix 3, you guys were just about to talk to Phoenix 1 before you guys got that lovely message in the sky above you from a slightly unorganized Goa'uld, which is you guys immediately kind of ping as being unusual. What'd you guys like to do?
That was odd. SGP1, Selena, we spoke with there was a recording, warning that this would happen. I guess it's today. They,
Yeah.
50 years ago, they, broke free from Goa'uld control. And there is a docking station,
I'll point in the general direction that he gestured earlier.
I said if there was something that they were looking for, that would be best to probably intercept it first, and it might be at those ruins, but I don't think we have time to get there. He said it was a couple of days' journey, and we have apparently 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Yeah. Any idea what he was talking about having these people might have? Any clue? Do you guys know? Did Belial say anything?
No. Didn't know what it could be.
No
Exactly.
idea.
Fiddler, are you sure maybe, I know you said there weren't any signals earlier, but now that the mothership is nearby, perhaps there's something pinging now?
I can certainly look if
Absolutely.
all right,
Roll it for me.
just give me a second. He sits down and starts pulling out. He's actually, it's resets up, his tablet next to his laptop, and he's taking it a little bit more serious now that it's a problem.
Absolutely.
Engineering,
Or
science.
science, whichever you prefer.
You know what? I used engineering last time. Let's go for science. 26.
26. Yeah. Yes. So you have some pretty advanced systems. You know that there is now a Goa'uld mothership. It's not in the atmosphere. It's not in orbit. It is not in orbit. It's in the atmosphere now. It has not landed. You do see that it is currently between, on your sensors, it's between where you can see there are some signals coming from the docking stations, and then where you guys are at now. It's somewhere in between there. It doesn't seem to be moving. It's kind of stationary at the moment. They don't seem to be making any type of decisions on where they're going at this particular second. You pick up, so like when you've been on other planets, there have been signals of any type of technology or anything like that. You're not really picking that up here. This isn't a very advanced planet. Obviously you're getting the signals from the docking station because that's advanced. But other than that, you're picking up on, there seem to be 3 very low level pings in this particular settlement. That you can pinpoint on your sensors, on your map. But other than that, you're not really picking up on anything solid.
Okay, so the low technology people we just visited have 3 pings of some sort of signals.
Very low, very weak signals.
Okay.
These are probably some of the weakest ones you've seen in a long time, but these no technology people do seem to have something that's pinging you.
Would I imagine that this is because of a diminishing power source, or is this
it's not strong enough. It's not any type of power source signal. Your best guess would be like pieces of technology, like physical bits. It's too weak and too unstable is not the right word, but yeah, it's too unstable to be any type of power source.
Okay. No, I was saying like the things provide, like the things that are. Okay, I was just saying, could it possibly because it's losing power or it's buried beneath something, those kind of things, like that's why it's weak.
Without getting, you're not
okay, not enough information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
Not enough. You don't have enough data to determine if it's because it's below, if it's dying, what it might be.
So there's 3 weeks pings.
All right, Gorik.
Yeah.
Goa'uld,
Fiddler.
Commander, old chief of our group. I've got pings. I've got pings that aren't the bad guys that are back at the village. There's 3. They shouldn't be there.
You're picking stuff up?
Yeah, I've got 3. They're very low level. I missed them before. Not sure why, but
Should probably investigate. Probably because they were so small.
right. I transfer the information to my data pad. I put the laptop, slide it back in the back, and I just start running in that direction.
Okay.
How
We'll
long
see
would
if
it
they-
take to move 700 people through the Stargate?
Are you asking Selena?
Yes, as we're like
Okay.
jogging back.
As you guys are heading in that direction,
Uh-huh.
following Fiddler. Sometime. I mean, if we do it in a pinch, we could probably do it in the 3 hours. But it's a matter of whether or not they want to come with us. So
Okay. Temporary evacuation. What if it is temporary?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All she signal as you guys are running past. She signals Cholera.
Hold on.
Yes, Goa'uld.
Knowing Goa'uld tactics, if they see us moving like that, that's not going to be good for us, right?
You can infer that, yes, being a Jaffa, knowing
Yeah.
Goa'uld tactics, that's probably
Okay.
not going to be a smart move. And
Um,
honestly, if they're in the atmosphere, they probably already have the Stargate being watched.
Uh-huh. I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, you would know Goa'uld tactics better than I, right?
They would be watching for that, and
Hmm.
they'd move up their timetable if they saw us.
We
doing
do
that.
not want that. No. Perhaps just strategic moving inside the settlement itself.
This will
Let's
just
have
be finding
ours.
these power sources. Hopefully, one will
Yes.
be a set of rings or something.
Perhaps.
Could be. Yeah. Cholera, can you like start, organizing everybody, getting them, rounded up and prepared for any type of plans that we may have? And she's saying this like as you guys are jogging
Yeah.
along. And Cholera like nods and then goes and she wrangles some of the other Phoenix One people to go and start getting people organized. And instead of there's not panic around you guys, but there is concern.
Uh-huh.
Like
Sora's
these people,
trying to
they've-
keep it at a level of
Oh
concern
crap!
and
We're
not
not
panic.
free.
yeah. It's a what can we do about it kind of thing. Like
But
they
what
know
can
the
we do about it?
yeah they know the power of the Goa'uld and they're not happy, but they're kind of resigned. Is kind
They
of the
asked
vibe
for help,
you're
but
getting.
it didn't have a lot of time. Doesn't seem like maybe we
Yeah.
got enough time to help
Yeah.
them, but we're gonna do our damnedest. Damn it.
So you guys head off. You are following Fiddler. Fiddler, you are leading the way to one of these power sources. Which one did you pick? 1, 2, or 3?
Closest.
Closest. Okay, so it would be
Closest
2.
one from where we were in a direct line.
It would be number 2. Okay.
Okay.
So you come to one of the tent buildings. This seems to be residential. Somebody seems to be living here. There's not really a door, so you just kind of go in. You see a family. They are talking to each other in hushed tones. They are concerned when you enter. The mother stands up and, do you need something?
Hi. Yes. Hello. I'm sure you all heard the message above. We would like to prevent any harm from coming to you all. We think they are
Fiddler's
looking for
beelining to
something.
it.
We got some premonitions on our device of the technology that they could possibly be looking for. And one of them happens to be inside of your tent.
Right there.
Please be careful with that.
Over
That's
there.
okay. There is a trunk, essentially just like a very simple trunk. And the signal seems to be coming from there.
He'll stop at the trunk. Like he's about to open it. He's like,
Yeah.
I should probably be a little more delicate about this. It's coming from here. Would you mind if I just took a quick look? I mean, it's your family's freedom and, this thing.
Sure. I mean, that's just storage, of course.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thunk.
Yeah, you
digging
pop it
through, just
open.
tossing
Like
clothes
Sora
by.
was like, that was much more diplomatic than I expected.
He's
He's learning.
So you see a bunch of fabrics and things like that. You see some knickknacks. You see like a little like a little doll, a bunch of other stuff. At the very bottom, you find a circular disc that is very clearly Goa'uld technology. It is very old. It's got some rusting on the edges. You've never seen anything like this.
Oh.
You haven't seen any type of Goa'uld technology that resembles anything like this. It's very intricate. It's very light when you pick it up.
Mhm.
And it's giving off a you know when you touch like a battery and it gives you like it's a dying battery and it gives you like a very faint like buzzing.
Mhm.
It's giving off that kind of vibe when you pick it up.
Now, is it definitely Goa'uld, or is it like much closer to ancient type technology that just gives off a Goa'uld vibe?
With your understanding of both Goa'uld and ancient technology, this is more so adapted from okay, how do I explain this? You can see ancient elements, but this is specifically Goa'uld technology.
Okay.
There are ancient bits like you see like the structure of it reminds you
the
of an
Goa'uld
ancient
take
Mhm.
there's
Yeah, but it's-
inspiration.
yeah, it's Goa'uld materials, it's Goa'uld symbols and stuff that
Okay.
you're seeing on it, kind of thing.
Okay. I turn around and like holding it up, like, do you recognize this? Is
How
this
big
anything
is
important
it?
to
Is
you?
it like
It's like palm sized.
Oh, palm sized.
It's
Okay,
not
so
big. Yeah,
All right.
it's palm sized.
Where'd you get this
Oh,
object?
well, that it was my father's. He has always had it. I don't know. I just thought it was like a plate. Because it's very flat, and the way it's
Mhm.
curved, it's got like a flat bottom, but then the edges curve up the slightest bit. Like it looks like
Mhm.
just like a little tiny little palm-sized plate, like a snack plate kind of thing. We just thought it was, like a trinket from.
It's very possible this is what they're looking for. Do you mind if we can solve this problem without having to use this? I will try to return it to you at some point, but we need it now if it's okay with you.
Yeah, no, please take it, please do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Into the bag.
Absolutely.
Out the door to this next one.
Oh, wait,
All right.
thank you so much for your collaboration.
Of
I
course.
really sincerely hope
course.
that this is all resolved very quickly. And I will.
All right, let's go.
And then you're gone.
I've
yeah.
got really long legs, so I can catch up with Fiddler.
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Or just,
So
And I'll be like, "Can I see
pops a
that?"
candy
And I'm
bar.
gonna like take pictures
Nice.
of it at the next location of the previous one.
You're like grabbing it out of his pack because he's still
Yep.
looking at his tablet as he's
Yep.
running.
Yep.
Gorik's
You had
occasionally
to-
grabbing him by his shoulders to keep him from falling down because he's not paying attention to where he's running.
Like,
do you
just,
get to 1 or 3 next?
It would be closest beeline, like conservation of energy going.
So okay, so if you go to 3, it's technically closer, but that would take you farther away. It would essentially they're kind of triangulated a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
So
no.
you found 2, going to 3 is closer, but then from 3 to 1 it's further away.
obviously,
Okay.
we should split up.
I was just about to say the same thing.
All right. Ixara, show me your
Yes.
tablet.
Yes.
I swipe the information over to her. Follow that beat there. That went over there. It's over there.
Okay.
Go get it.
Okay.
Gorik with me.
Stay in radio contact.
Selena goes with you.
Okay.
Ixora.
Okay. No, send me by myself. It's perfect. No, absolutely.
Plan. I
You
was
do have somebody
trying.
going with you.
I was trying.
Because that's always ended so well for you guys.
Yes,
I'm
send me
so
to the
good at being
most
alone.
dangerous one by myself, and I will
Mhm.
walk into
Obviously.
whatever. Yeah, please.
Obviously.
This is
So
not
you
a
guys head
chance to
out.
kill me for all the times I've killed her.
Yep. Twice within 1 minute. You guys head out. But before we get to those other particular items, Svarl, how's the invasion going? What you doing?
So I think Svarl, after giving a speech, would continue to stay at the console for a time, looking for any energy signals, anything that might give him a hint as to where they should be looking.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me either a science or an engineering check, please. And since you are in the Goa'uld mothership, you will have advantage.
We'll do engineering. 13.
13. Okay. The mothership has some very high tech and very delicate sensors. So you are able to pick up on a couple of different things. Very first thing, you picked up on it with your map, is there is a steady signal coming from the docking stations that are planet side. You are getting a reading that the Stargate was recently active.
Okay.
That is something that you pick up on. You are reading some levels of technology that shouldn't be on this planet. You are familiar with this planet. This was one of Kol'chotos's previously controlled planets. And you were here last time he was in charge of it. So you know that they don't have a high technology level here. They have no technology here aside from what the Goa'uld had provided, which was very little. You're picking up on 5 different signals, 3 of which you recognize as Goa'uld in make, and then 2 other you're not totally familiar with. You don't know what those ones are from, but they're definitely not Goa'uld.
Okay. So I think after scanning everything, he would go to find Kol'chotos and present his plan.
Okay, absolutely. Kol'chotos spends most of his time in his personal chambers when he's not in the control room. That is where you can find him, essentially. You find him in front of one of the viewing screens, like windows that he's got, and he's been doing this for the past couple of months, just pacing back and forth, muttering quietly to himself under his breath.
He waits for a few moments, and when he realizes that Kol'chotos is not acknowledging him, clears his throat. Sir.
Yes, Svarl. Have you found it? You found it.
I believe that I possibly have found one of the locations it might be.
Good.
Drawn up a plan, a course of action for us to follow, and I would like you to confirm that it is to your liking before I initiate.
Yes, go ahead.
He presents a data pad with his full plan. It's basically, give them their 3 hours, fire a warning shot at the smallest town afterwards to show that we mean business. But before the 3 hours is up, Svarl wants to lead a personal team down to planet side to rendezvous with the leadership outside of their main settlement, so he can speak with them one-on-one and make sure that nothing's going on. They have nowhere to go. His plan informs Kol'chotos they have nowhere to go and have no choice but to acquiesce. He leaves out the information that the Stargate has been active in the past several hours.
Okay, absolutely. He likes your plan. But he says, yes, this is perfect, but do it now. We're not waiting the 3 hours. We're not waiting. I can't wait. It has to be now. It has to be now. Of
course, I will go immediately, sir. And
yes,
when the time has passed, I will send word. Then we can strike at the smallest settlement. But I believe that will not be necessary. And besides, there is, based on my research, a good chance that what you want might be hidden in one of the smaller settlements. We would not want to destroy it, after all.
Yes, good. Yes, go. Do it, please, go.
He touches 2 fingers to his forehead and bows and turns to exit.
Absolutely. And he said please. That's something you have heard that word out of his mouth like once before in your entire many years. But yes, he does let you go, and then you see, just kind of as you're leaving, he literally just goes back to where he was and he continues to pace and mutter under his breath.
He'll stop at the door before he leaves to go gather up his team and head on down to the planet. He'll stop at the door and turn back towards him. He's kind of chewing on the word please. It's so foreign to him. And he'll look at Kol'chotos and he'll say, sir, if I might ask a personal question.
Yes, of course. And he slows in his pacing, but he doesn't stop, but he is paying attention to you.
You have given me so much. You have kept me younger than I have any right to be. And you've placed much trust in me. Will this save you, sir? What you're looking for? Will it save you?
Save me. Save this will save all of us. This will save me. Yes. All of us. Yes. Yes,
All of
it
us.
has to. It will. It will.
Very well, sir. There will be some time, several hours, before I am likely to be in communication. You should get some rest.
Rest. Yes. Maybe. Yes. That is good. I will rest. Yes. You're dismissed.
Sir. He bows again and exits to go gather up his team, and he knows the numbers, right? He knows the population, the general population of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to bring a team 1/4 that size.
Okay, absolutely.
Perfectly armed, but 1/4
Yeah.
that size.
Absolutely, yeah. And you are more than able very quickly to round up that force. Loaded into, you have to load them into like 2 separate Hitaks, but you are able to squish them in essentially. And you head on out. You do know that those 3 are the 3 Goa'uld symbols and then the 2 foreign signals were coming from the biggest settlement. So you, if that is your plan, you could absolutely head that way.
Yeah, his plan is to set down outside, out of, not that he expects them to have much in the way of weapons, but out of general firing range of the walls of the settlement, just in case. And on his way down, as he's speaking to the other Jaffa, he'll say to them before they split up into their 2 ships, "We are strong because we serve Kol'chotos. But the people down there, they are loyal to themselves, to the lives that they've created, the opportunities they've made for themselves away from our master's yoke. Do not underestimate them. This might seem like a backwater planet, but their fierceness for freedom will make them strong and dangerous. Follow my lead. Do not open fire unless I open fire first."
They give you the Jaffa are, and you're very aware of this being their first prime, they have taken notice of Kol'chotos's peculiarities. Strange. Thank you.
Changing behavior,
Changing behavior, his strange behavior over the past couple months. Over those past couple of months, you have noticed a shift in their not in their loyalties, because they are loyal to their lord, right? But they do seem to respond more to your orders than his, more enthusiastically. And they very clearly understand. They give you their Jaffa Krizo confirmation, they salute, and they will follow your orders pretty much to the T.
And he salutes back and heads on down, not needing to give them any words. He trusts that they understand.
Absolutely. And they do. They load up into their various Hitaks and they follow your orders, and your pilot will take you down to the main settlement. You guys set out just a couple minutes outside of the biggest settlement that's by the oasis. You do see on your sensors as you come up that your estimations of their population were correct, somewhere in the 700s of this particular settlement. You're not seeing any signs of any type of resistance. You do see on some of the screens that the people have gathered in various pockets around the settlement. You do see there are some warriors that come towards the side where you guys seem to be approaching from. But their weapons are nothing compared to the Jaffas, so not something to be worried about at this particular moment anyway. But they seem ready for you guys. They seem they seem prepared as as they can be.
Prepared. Do they seem trigger happy?
Not necessarily. From what you can see from the screens, they are they're determined, but they are not, how do I word this? They're aware that you outmuscle them. They're not, they've been under the Jaffa before the Goa'uld, before they know that they are not winning this battle, but they don't seem like they're gonna go quietly. But not trigger happy.
And Svarl will probably set up the perimeter. I don't know if any of the other Jaffa would, encourage him to act differently, but in an unusual way. He would position themselves outside the city, probably in the direction of the Stargate, so that, if you were to travel directly from the settlement to the Stargate or vice versa, you'd kind of have to go through their perimeter or a longer way around.
Absolutely.
And once they kind of set down, they get into their perimeter, they gather up, whatever dunes, rocks, anything they could use for cover to set up behind, and the Jaffa are ready. Then he would grab his two probably most capable, or maybe capable is good, loyal is better, people, and inform his group that they are going to go to the walls of the settlement, not to attack, but if there's any fire, that they should bring down the full might of their unit on the settlement.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have, as First Prime, you have 5 lieutenants at your disposal, 2 of which stayed back on the mothership, as is per usual, just in case, chain of command, anything like that. You do have 2 that are more, that you brought them with you, that are more loyal to you than anybody else. And they are more than willing to go with you if you so command it. And then one of them can stay back and command your forces here, however you see fit. And they do listen. They don't seem like, at this moment, there doesn't seem to be any kind of dissent or any type of desire to disobey.
Because my insight is really, really bad. So I'll take your word for it. Yeah, so that's what he'll do. He'll set up the perimeter, and I don't know how much time is left out of that 3-hour warning they gave them, but he would just take...
Thanks for taking all this time for us to find the 3.
Right. And he'll take his 2 people and then approach the settlement, just the 3 of them, heavily armed, but just the 3 of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a little bit of time. It's taken you to amass all your forces to get everybody set up. I'd say it's probably taken about like 2.5 hours at this point. You do head out. You see, as you approach the settlement, that you see quite a bit of warriors. They're not anywhere level to at the capability level of the Jaffa, but they do seem prepared to defend their home if need be. Kind of gathered out. You see a trio of men kind of at the front, and then go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay. I do think he would have, over top of his armor, he probably would have thrown on clothes for the weather and the sun, including a full head wrap that kind of covers his golden sigil. That's
okay, absolutely.
2 natural ones.
2 natural ones. Okay, yeah, that's all you're seeing. You're just seeing
welcome to the game.
You're just seeing the settlers, the not the settlers, the villagers words that happen. You're seeing the villagers, those 3 men at the front as well. But we're gonna pause there as you approach the leadership. We're gonna pull it back a little bit, and we're gonna follow Ixora and Selena as they go for... Are you guys going for number 3 or number 1?
Whichever one Fiddler sent us to. Did you pick the more remote one, Fiddler, or did you send us to the more remote one?
No, basically it was almost equidistant, kind of. There's just one a little bit closer. Yeah. I went to the closer one and sent you the direction to the other one.
I do have longer legs, so I would have gone to that one.
Okay, so Selena and Ixora, y'all head over to number 1.
Hustle it.
You find yourselves at the one of the half structures where it's half building, half tent. it seems to be some type of bar, like some type of like food eatery kind of thing. They've got they're serving, and not at the moment, it's pretty dead because
Yeah,
everything
understandable.
happening.
Yeah.
But it's giving you the same structure as like a cafeteria or a bar or
Okay.
something like that. Selena immediately begins like looking through stuff, looking for something that looks similar to what you guys found at the other place. You
Markups.
do a scan. Fiddler did mark it on your what do you call it?
Little pad, a little data pad.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, your little data pad. You're getting some interference in here. Go ahead and roll me a science check.
Cool. 16.
16. Okay. Yeah, you're getting some interference in here.
I can make it better if we need to.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
You like you've come across this a couple times before where when something is shielded, sometimes it scrambles signals. You're getting that here with this. Because you're so close to it, you're picking that up. On Fiddler's scans, when he was, scanning just from the general area, it was just showing up as an energy source. Here, you're able to suss that out, that something is being shielded here.
It's being shielded. Look for, it's probably be a little larger than the last one.
Yeah, you go behind, bar is the wrong word, but there's like a countertop, the bar, essentially. You go behind and you find, there is like steps down to like a cellar. You don't have an exact location, but the signal's coming from down there.
Yeah, immediately once you said shielded, she was thinking it's probably behind a wall or a layer of stone or something, because that is that. What other shielding do they have?
Exactly.
So, yeah, straight down. No questions asked. Into the hole.
Absolutely. You climb on down. It's much cooler down here. You do see that they seem to have done with their when they were building their structures and they did their clay bricks and everything, they built like a cellar kind of thing. You imagine for like food storage, coal, as cold as you can get in a desert kind of thing. You go down and you find just a bunch of different food stores. Nothing really sticks out, and you can't pinpoint an exact location here on your data screen on your pad.
Selena! Selena!
Yeah. A couple
seconds later, I think it might be coming from down here because it's being shielded, which means like stone or the clay bricks. Can't get an exact location. It's time to start looking.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Yeah, let's take a look. You can roll a perception or an investigation, whatever you prefer.
I would love to. I'll roll perception.
Okay.
15.
Selena. I need to look at. Oh shit. Sorry. I need to look at her character sheet real quick. Give me a second.
Of course. Or is perceptive. Not anything else most of the time.
That is that. She is just a.
So I was like, okay, shielded.
Okay.
Scrambled signal. It's probably a little larger. Going to be in something. Boxes.
Oh no, Selena finds nothing. With a crit 1, a natural 1. She does not find anything. She is like elbow deep in a crate that's like mushy old yams kind of thing, and she like pulls her arms out and she's like, it's not here. I don't know. I'm did you find anything? What did you roll?
I rolled a 15.
Okay. You are able to
make
move
it better.
some. Yeah, you I think a 15 should be fine. Let me double check. Yeah, no, 15 is perfect.
Okay, good.
15 is perfect. So you move a couple of like crates out of the way, and you find
looking in the back where like people are less likely to be frequenting.
And that's exactly what you find. Like there's like sand piled up back here, like dust. Like nobody's been in this back corner for some time. And you find a loose brick, a loose clay brick in the wall. That you're able to, you kind of like bump into it a little bit and you're able to pull it out.
Or two.
Yeah, a couple of them come out. And you pull out something covered in fabric. It's
Unwrapping
not
that.
big. It's not big. It kind of looks like a USB device.
Oh.
Like it's a thin, short rectangle.
Okay. Sit down and I
and-
immediately take pictures of it. And
Yeah,
there
with
we
your
go.
device,
Found it.
you guys get a garbled found it. It's a little some interference with it, but nothing too crazy. The signal is able to come through.
I'm gonna have my piece and my other piece, and it goes, as long as I don't have 1 and 3, maybe they'll fit together.
You do actually roll me. You're pretty sciencey.
I am a
relatively-
scientist.
You're relatively familiar with ancient technology. Roll me a culture check, please.
I would love to do that for. If I can get the right tab, culture. 17.
17. Okay. This is 100% Goa'uld technology. Like, you have no doubt about it. But the signal that you're getting is ancient.
Oh, interesting.
If that makes sense. So something about this is seated in ancient technology, but has been either adapted or taken over or something like that by the Goa'uld technology that you have in your hand. So yes, you find that.
Do the two pieces I have go together in any way?
They do not. The little bowl plate that you have, there's no open slots, there's no nothing. They do seem, again, they're Goa'uld technology, they seem to be of the same design, but they do not fit together.
I just take some pictures and then hustled to where Gorik and Fiddler headed off to try to minimize any time apart.
Absolutely.
Come on, Selena!
Yes, and she follows. She grabs the cloth that this paper or this
start wrapping off them.
This
arms.
this USB. Yeah, just gets all of this mushy yams off of her arms, and then she follows you.
I'm
Fiddler.
running. This is why I jog every morning.
Yes, need the cardio. Fiddler and Gorik, you guys are heading towards signal number 3. It is coming from actually the main building, where you see Belial. Belial is having some conversations with some of his people who look concerned. He seems to be calming them down. The signal is coming from him.
At this point, have the attack landed?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Fiddler runs up and it's like scanning everybody, comes to him, and then he goes back to them, goes to him, and it's like, I'm sorry to bother you, but you have something on you that might be the reason why they're here.
Me?
Yes, you have something old or possibly a ancient design, Goa'uld design, something like a passed down from your grandpappy or something like that. I could be anything.
Well, I have this, and you see he has intricately braided into his hair, you see
haircut time.
Just snip it out. Kind of like how Captain Jack Sparrow has his piece of 8 in his hair. There's there's a coin at the end of one of his
we need that.
That seems to be where it's coming from.
That is what they're for.
This?
Yes, part of it. There's 3. That's number. It's one of them.
It was my father's. He gave it to me when he died. Do you need it?
At this moment, yes. I will try to return it if it's at all possible. I understand the significance of something from your grandfather to giving it to you, but right now, if you want to keep your people safe, I need that. Okay.
He unbraids and is able to extract it and hand it over to you.
And I look scared. I'm looking at it. Is it, the thing? Most definitely.
Yes,
Okay.
it's most definitely giving off a signal. Goric, roll me. You are Jaffa. Culture. Roll me a culture check, please. And you would have advantage because
good.
you
Oh,
are.
no,
Whoa!
yes.
Advantage! Great! 12.
Nice
12.
save.
Okay. You recognize this. This is a it's a relatively rare item. It's a personal shield. So you know, yeah, this is something that Goa'uld lords typically keep to themselves or for their favored, servants. You imagine with the strength of the signal that Fiddler's been picking up on, it's fully depleted. There's not really anything from this. But that's all it is just it's a personal shield.
I somehow doubt that's what they'd be looking for. That's a gold shield.
Really? Man, I played with one of
I
those
would
in a while.
assume that he has many of those.
Perhaps alone it's just part of a thing that you would be innocuous. But if I put it together with the other two items, I mean, I don't know how I add it to a plate, but I don't know what the other item is. Perhaps look, just let me see them all in one place, and then we'll see what we can do.
We better figure it out quick. And he just kind of sees the Hatak flying down.
Yeah, you guys do see the Hatak coming over at this time.
Love
they
a
seem
deadline.
to be they're heading over into the direction of the Stargate. And Fiddler, you do have an alert on your data device from those cameras that you set up that you do see some activity. Nobody seems to be going in or out of the Stargate at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you set them up, unfortunately, you can't see exactly what the Jaffa are doing, but you see like bits of them as they're passing like on the edge of the cameras. They're doing something over by the Stargate.
Wonderful. Please mess with my camera.
And as you're noticing that, Ixora and Selena meet up with you guys.
Jesus.
They are a little out of breath.
Can I take a picture of yours? Just keep documenting everything.
All right. Okay. All right. It's hand me everything.
She hands it to you and takes out her camera so that when you put it on the table to look at everything, she can just...
Yeah, just like set it down, plate, USB device, little disc shield. Does there look to be any connection to them other than they are Goa'uld devices for the most part?
No,
so he's
right off the
looking
bat,
for one of these in particular.
One of these items.
Okay.
Yeah. Right off the bat, you can tell that these items really aren't interconnected at all.
Mm-hmm.
There are three separate pieces.
Mm-hmm.
The plate doesn't have anything for the shield or the USB to be plugged into. I keep saying USB. That's not. It's like a data stick.
Okay.
Same concept. They don't go together. Like these are three random items. Nothing is jumping out at you just with a cursory look over them.
Okay. The new item, the one I haven't had a chance to really look at, I disregard the small disc because Goric said he recognized it immediately. I don't need to waste time. The plate is a plate.
And will say, this one's giving off an ancient signal to the data stick.
Oh, is it ancient then?
That's unusual.
All right, so that's when I focus in on the data stick. And
let me help you.
What can we tell about it?
Absolutely.
Can I connect to it? Can I access the data? Can I make it a bomb?
Certainly try.
I would love to help you access this data. And
I will ask, how are you going to attempt to help him?
I'm assuming he's bringing out his laptop, his little computer. I've got scientific sensors and little equipment with me. I have a scientific kit, so I'm gonna bring out that stuff so I can assist. And we've both worked together in technology before, so we have a workflow. And I'm gonna bring my knowledge.
Can we not do this in the middle of the street?
No, we're doing this.
You guys are in a building.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You guys are in the main structure of yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
Yeah.
In the sand.
Sand all up in there. Every crease and nook and cranny. And I would love to also give an apt analogy to this. Like, so this the ancient signal reminds me a little bit of that tree, actually. At least in the binary coding of it. So you also get to add the trouble dice, the tension dice.
Okay, because I was about to ask
this.
what technology level this is, because if it's level 4 or higher, I also get to add my tension die to it.
Absolutely. That is perfect. You can roll 2 tension die, which is a D10.
Okay.
You can roll with advantage. And specifically for this, I'm going to say roll an engineering check, please.
Ooh.
Okay. So engineering check with advantage and 2 tension dice.
And 2 tension dice. So
Okay.
don't roll the 1 and you should be.
Why did you have to say
it?
Why did you say that?
Listen, now that I've said it, you
21.
won't.
Oh, 26.
There we go.
26 with advantage, and then tension die number 1. There's my 1.
27.
27.
The 1,
okay.
and then a 10. It's Christmas.
37.
37. Okay. This is an
go
ancient...
Wonder Science team.
We're just like... Okay, yep, 1 step ahead of you. All right, yep.
Yep. Just dump everything into this one item.
Gork just sitting there like, are they even speaking a language I understand right now?
So, this is...
everything we can out of this before we have to probably give it up.
This is an ancient data stick that has been disguised as Goa'uld technology. Somebody has altered the general signal of this item to come off as Goa'uld. But Ixora, as you were noticing when you were close to it, it's obviously giving off an ancient signal. Once it's been analyzed, once you can see it closer, once that signal is stronger, at a distance, it seems like just a normal Goa'uld item, nothing crazy. This is a heavily encrypted data stick. You guys will not be able to crack it with the technology that you have here. I can give you that with your 37.
Can we download the encrypted data with the 37?
Absolutely, with the 37 you can download the encrypted data onto let me roll something. This is ancient check, so it's gonna get a +4. 23. Okay, you will be able, unfortunately it rolled really high.
I was hoping that was good for us this time.
Not this time. Not for you guys. You guys will be able to download essentially the encryption, everything once to one device.
Okay.
So you'll have the ancient data stick and then your copy, and that's all you will have time to do.
Okay. Is it possible? Okay, this ancient data stick. It's advanced technology. We barely understand it because it is ancient. Goa'uld haven't really messed with it, so this is kind of unfiltered ancient technology. Is it possible to corrupt some of the data, maybe, without making it look like it's been?
You might have to unencrypt it first, but yeah.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, I would imagine. Let me roll. Hold on. I will roll for it.
Okay.
We'll do D100.
Here, have your data stick. It's corrupted.
I don't know. My idea is to let them know we have it and then get the hell out of here.
So you imagine you would have to break the encryption in order to alter any of the data inside.
Okay, fair enough.
Without like totally destroying the data stick itself, which you do know that ancient technology is pretty impervious to like physical damage, so that itself would be pretty difficult. Don't think you'd have time to do that.
Right. Okay. Full copy onto my tablet. And then I trade tablets with Gorik and I put it in his pack and I say, hey, don't lose this, Commander.
Okay.
And I take his and I'm looking at him like, when was the last time you have you turned this thing off ever? It's running on like
they keep saying I need an update.
Oh my. You and I are going to have a long conversation about proper technology use. I can't. Is your password?
Oh no, I
Uh-oh.
think he
Did
froze.
he freeze? Oh no.
I was gonna say,
See,
that's either
he
a very
should have
convincing-
restarted the device. Look,
This is why
that's
you
what
need
happens.
updates. Hmm.
I broke Gorik.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry.
Well, until Gork is able to come back.
You really should have
Okay.
updated.
Yeah. You guys, you're able to do the switch. You're able to essentially
Oh, hello.
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 I told you to
Oh.
restart your device.
Yeah, I had to. Apparently, I don't know what happened. Okay, hi.
We all know you were just trying to avoid the question. Is your password password?
Well, no, it's 123 password.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Jafakri. half of the passwords of the Jaffa's
Yeah.
things are just Jafakri.
That's best password. I'll go with that.
I love it.
Okay.
So the time it takes you guys to, analyze the statistic, everything like that, Belial does come up to y'all and he says, it looks like the Jaffa are approaching now. We are going to go out to meet them. We would prefer if you blended into the crowd and did not appear as a threat initially. We would appreciate your support if need be, but for the time being, we would not like to agitate them any further than they might already be.
Fiddler's handing him back his shield.
Do your best to placate them.
That was it. So, but
thank you. He
This
slips it in his pocket for now.
this is what they're looking for.
Perhaps you should hold on to that for the moment.
If you think it's wise, we've already made some copies of it ourselves. If we can keep information, we can find out what's going on with it. Perhaps if you have to, we can give it to them because I don't want your people to suffer for something that none of us know what it is.
If
Yes.
he's come all this way for it, we can't let him have it.
I am inclined to agree.
I don't know if it's worth the lives of all these people, though.
If a
I agree.
Goa'uld lord has come all this way after being away for several decades.
He also didn't quite seem in his right mind, so I'm not entirely certain what this is all about.
That is, I have very faint memories of him, but I do not remember him being that.
I've never seen a Goa'uld, so, confused?
Yes, the stories my father told of him were much more fearsome than what he presented on his screen. But with that being said, a crazy Goa'uld is almost worse than a sane one. Again, we will go out to meet them. If you could please blend into the crowd as much
I
as
will
you
do
are
my
able.
best, and Exora will stand on her knees.
He gestures, he gestures to some there's some garments and stuff, robes and things like that laying around that you guys are more than welcome to disguise
the
yourselves
SG
in.
episode where they're all trying to blend in and they look
Yeah.
completely terrible the entire time.
So they stick out like a sore thumb.
Exactly.
But,
Yep.
Our first primo there rolled 2 nat ones. So congrats, you guys. So Belial heads on out and over as the Jaffa do begin to approach. What time is it? We've got a couple minutes. Okay. Belial is at the front of this progression, essentially, of his warriors, and you guys in SG P1 kind of blend into the crowd as well. And he steps out and he waits as Svarl and your lieutenants approach.
Svarl has his Matak kind of dragging through the sand, the base of it, and when he sees them come out, he holds up a hand and closes a fist towards his lieutenants and looks left and looks right and says, "Stay here for now. If I give the signal, attack. Start with the guards closest to him. If I give the alternate signal, approach, but do not draw your weapons."
Yes, Commander.
He does the salute and then continues to drag the base of the staff through the sand, and he'll approach the leader alone.
Okay. Belial sees this, and you can tell that he's very hesitant, but he also approaches you alone as well. The two other, he's unarmed, doesn't have any
Ixora.
type of spear or bow or anything like that. What does Ixora do?
Ixora is just I'm just saying that she's only 5 feet tall when she's on her knees, like bended into the ground.
Okay, yeah, just
As
As long as you don't look
yeah.
out and see her feet behind her, yeah.
Yeah, as long
Right,
as
right.
yeah.
It's the only time that Ixora and Fiddler are the same height.
The same height,
Yeah.
Yeah. The other two council members do hang back when Belial motions to them, and Belial approaches you, Svarl. And he doesn't speak first. He kind of like gestures and awaits your lead.
And Svarl is giving him this imperial look down the bridge of his nose. He'll turn his head just to the left a little bit and grunt when he doesn't speak first, and he'll say very quietly, "You should have been gone by now."
He looks a little confused. 3 hours isn't a very long time to leave, and we have no intention of giving up our home.
Leans his head a little bit closer and draws back his staff, almost to make it look like he's about to strike him with the head of it. But he doesn't strike, and he says, "No, I warned you that we were coming, and you're still here."
Let me roll something for him. Okay. He registers this, and he makes like some solid eye contact with you, and looks a little confused, but a little, and he like a light bulb kind of clicks, and you see that he just kind of like flinches back a little theatrically, as you're seeming to be threatening, and just as quietly as you're speaking, we didn't know to trust that any of that message was true. What is he looking for?
Sparl thrusts the base of his staff back into the sand, leans against it slightly. But the anger in his eyes, it's not a show. He's furious right now. He's searching for some sort of ancient technology. Lord Kol'chotos is driven by the need to find it. He believes it's here. I believe it's here too. But now that we're all here, I can't see a way that any of us walk away from this without blood. And that blood is on your hands.
We were not aware of any. We didn't even know where to look. He hesitates for a second, and he kind of, you see, he kind of like glances over his shoulder, and
You'll follow the glance, immediately look.
Yeah, he's making eye contact with who would be at the front of the who of SGP3 would be at the front of the crowd?
Look equally poorly disguised.
Probably Goa'uld.
Goa'uld. Okay. He makes like just very quick eye contact with you, Goa'uld. Svarl, you do notice this, as there is a Jaffa among them. A Jaffa that you do not recognize, that has a symbol that you recognize.
He'll dramatically reveal, he'll pull back the head wrap so you can see the golden symbol on his forehead.
Yeah. And then Belial turns back, and there are strangers that have come to help amongst us.
Let me ask you this, because I don't know the answer.
It's like all fluffed up from her hair.
With the Stargate being there, contextually, would he assume that SG is here, since the Stargate was activated recently?
It's a safe assumption. All Goa'uld in pretty much all sectors of space are aware of the Stargate program of the Tal'Ri and of their penchant for mischief and disrupting Goa'uld plans. You can make a safe assumption that members of Stargate are here. Yes.
He'll follow the glance and look back to him, and he'll say, I need to know exactly how many of them are here, how heavily armed they are, what happens next, what's best for you and your people, and me and my soldiers relies entirely on you being more wise than you were when I sent that message.
Roll me a persuasion check, please.
Could I do intimidation?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We need to move.
I'm literally leaning over to Gork and like, hey, Gork, you wanted me to take out, I got the thing. I can go back and I can do the thing.
Ooh.
21.
We need to
21. Okay. He let me roll. Let's just roll a general check for him. No, okay, yeah, he's terrified. He you can tell that this man is a leader. He is concerned for his people, and he has dealt with Jaffa. He hasn't personally dealt with the Jaffa before in the Goa'uld because he was a kid, but like he remembers the stories. He will tell you that there are, hold on. I need to count. One,
Yes,
two,
there's 3 of us, and
six,
5 of them.
7. There's 7 of them. 7 of Phoenix 1. There's actually 4 of you because you guys did have that nameless guy tagged along with you guys that I totally forgot about. Sorry.
It's all good.
So he will tell you that there are 11 members of Stargate Phoenix Command in the in the settlement. He doesn't say crowd because they're not all there. He'll let you
beans all over the place.
Yeah. He'll let you know that he doesn't know how heavily armed they are because he generally
doesn't know what the weapons do. Yeah,
genuinely doesn't.
That just further frustrates Svarl that he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't know. But he tells you that there are 11 of them, and they have been what's the word I'm looking for? They have been
helping.
Yeah, they've been cooperative. They've been assisting Belial in preparing the people for the Javas to come.
He has what, like maybe how many people did he bring? There's 70. I said a fourth, so like 17 people or so. It's pretty even, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty close, the numbers.
Yeah.
Plus there's all of the actual people who live here.
Yeah.
He'll nod and say, I want you to tell me this. Do they have it? What we've come here for? Do you have it, or did they have it?
Does he? Okay, hold on.
Actually, no, that's what we want. Say it. Say that we have it. Do it.
Oh, okay. 20. Okay. He I'm not sure if they have found whatever it is they're looking for. They have found some things. I don't know if it's what you're searching for, but they are looking.
You're running out of time. Here's what will happen next. Their way home is barred from them. And he lists the first town, the first settlement that'll be struck from above, and then he lists the second settlement that'll be struck from above. I am keeping this from happening. I'm looking for a solution, not just for my people, but yours. Go to them. I will wait here 10 minutes. I wish to speak to whomever there is in charge, and I need them to know that whatever happens, what Lord Kol'chotos seeks, he cannot be given. We cannot leave here with it. Do you understand?
He looks confused. But he nods. I think I understand. I will return.
Gives the Jaffa salute, which probably means nothing to him.
Yeah.
And he does the gesture over his shoulder, alternative gesture, approach with your weapons down.
And they do. Your lieutenants, easy, as soon as they see it, they approach, weapons ready, but not, drawn, not aimed at anybody. And as they approach, Belial does back up. Doesn't turn his back to you. He does look a little cautious. He's very confused. He's a very confused leader.
Like, what do you think's happening?
Yeah, he backs up, and he reaches his two advisors, and that's when he does turn and speaks with them. You guys can see that he speaks with them very quietly, and then he goes to the crowd and essentially just in general addresses them, tells them to remain here, remain ready, but unaggressive, negotiating, blah 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 blah. And then he makes eye contact again with you, Goa'uld, and just kind of like nods you guys over to follow, right? And then he heads back into the main building.
I think there's an awkward moment where she's just shuffling on her knees in the sand, and it's just like, this isn't gonna work. And then like stands up, but like slouches a lot, and it just looks really awkward. And it's not subtle at all because she is 7 feet tall.
She's 7 feet tall. Yeah. And as you guys go into the main building, and Svarl has given y'all a 10-minute deadline, that is where we're gonna stop for tonight. I'm very excited. Thank you, guys. That was amazing. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll just go around, tell us who you are, what your favorite part was, what you're excited for next week, what you think might happen. I'll start with myself and then I'll hand it off to Lindy. I'm not going to source. I'm the GM, excuse me, Gate Master, here every other Tuesday night. You can also find me here on Mondays, playing in our Mondays in Exandria, as well as the Wednesdays when we play in our Call of Cthulhu game, which is a lot of fun. My favorite part was, first of all, Dawn, I love having you here. This is phenomenal. I love when I get to mess with these people, and having you help me with that is phenomenal. I love it. And just every interaction that you had with Kol'chotos was phenomenal. I like the idea of a super crazy, like, Goa'uld that his followers, that they're loyal but they don't know what to do, so that dilemma there is really cool, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out next week. I also really liked the Fiddler rigging a camera to blow up. Just, it's a very Fiddler thing to do, and I love it. But yeah, that's me. I'm very excited to see what we're going to do, not next week but the following week when we come back, because we are on a bi-weekly schedule. Yeah, that's me. Lindy, you're gonna take it away.
Thank you. We're gonna go in the opposite order that we started in, and say who you are, where we can find you, what your favorite moments from tonight's game were. Dawn, our delightful, wonderful guest, how was tonight for you?
Hey, I had a blast. I haven't, it's been a long time since I've really done anything with Stargate, but I loved it when I was younger, so this was a fun revisit to it. Certain things, as you were describing the world and your characters, like, things were coming back to me, which was really cool. I really enjoyed getting to see, because every time I play with this group of amazing individuals, the dynamic between all their characters is always so different, but it's always delightful every single time. And so getting to experience that was really fun. And yeah, getting to maybe like mess with things a little bit and play some games, to get us where we're going. I really enjoyed that. So thank you so much for having me on. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next and what happens because of that.
Thank you. And can we find you anywhere in particular?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can find me. I mostly live on Discord now, but if you're interested in what I do, I'm a full-time game designer and writer and runner. It's my life. It's a great life. And I'm on Twitter at Donathan Fry. If you check me out there, you can find links to all of my other things and whatnot if you're interested.
Thank you. Wonderful. It's all fabulous. Check out everything that Don does because we love all of it. And we love Don. We also love Gorik. Gorik, how is tonight for you?
Oh, very good. Yeah. I'm D20 Coup de Grace. You find me playing here Mondays and Tuesdays. Shoot. I think of course the interactions between Don and the Goa'uld were awesome. I also liked finding the artifacts. That was pretty cool. Just the whole mystery box of it, just love it. I am really, really freaking scared right now. This could all turn real bad real fast, which is that's that tension dice. And I'm feeling it, so that's good. Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you. And of course, Fiddler, how is tonight for you?
Oh, it was grand time. I had a great time. Yeah, no, this was fun. This was perfect. So happy to have Don back at the table with us. That was a lot of fun. It's always great for his characters to interact with our players because it's so much fun and he brings a different angle and we're so used to how we interact and then to throw that little wrench in there that enjoys as much mischief as we do is always a grand time. Favorite parts this evening. Honestly, the entire Kol'chotos scenes with our first prime, it was great finding out that he was the one that sent. I kind of had an inkling that might be it because, but it was just nice to see that was brought back in and that we are in one of those perfect situations where there is no way out and it's just time for mischief. It's either we're going to have a new ally or there's going to be one of those great fighting to the Stargate scenes to see what happens. You can find us here on Mondays for Mondays in Exandria the New Batch. They're crazy, they're fun, they're in Ankarel right now and they can't pronounce anyone's name at any time and it's the most amazing thing.
Sure we do. We have Prolapse and Lemon Twist and Lactose Intolerant and Lord Salad.
Lord Salad.
Yeah, Lord Salad and Alan. Don't forget Alan. He's the most important one. Yes. Call of the Netherdeep by Wizards of the Coast, and they watch just how many names they can ruin in one session.
They have so many A names. It's not even
really
funny.
do. They really do. And it just it breaks me every time. And also don't forget, never eat the super extreme meal from Bell's Tacos because that's just not going to help there. Yeah, exactly. Snaggletooth loves it. But thank you again. This was a lot of fun and thank you.
Thank you. And that leaves just me, Love Lindy. My favorite moments, as much as I loved the talks between our Goa'uld and his first prime, I really enjoyed Svarl and the leader of this encampment, his conversation. It was because it was so tense. I could just see all the Goa'uld behind him, the camera panning between the two. And just in the background, you just see our little group of poorly disguised dopes, kneeling and standing in the background, just what do you think they're saying? Do we shoot him? Do we shoot him? I just loved it. I loved every moment of that. I also really found it interesting. This little place we went to, I just found it very fascinating, just how they're set up and the little 3 objects pinging on the radar. We had to find them all. It was very, very exciting. We did split up, which is actually a good thing because timings. Very exciting. And then of course, Fiddler and Exora kind of have found a groove in working together when they just stop barbing each other. Well, mostly Fiddler delivering barbs and Exora ignoring most things. But they just fall into a groove and they just work really well. And of course, the mission briefing with any more questions, and then Exora almost always having another question, and then Fiddler having one question, and Gork being made the group leader in Jake's absence. I thought that was fabulous. Loved it. So basically, I loved most of it, everything about the episode. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. We got some new viewers today. It was very exciting. Yeah, catch us tomorrow night for Below the Land of Fire, where we will hopefully have a Nuggetosaurus. Should she have power from the hurricane? We don't know. If not, I will tell you very exciting things about what your character is getting up to. I'm sure you'll just have a really lovely nap the entire time.
Just nice, pleasant dream.
Just a good dream. Just a good sleep. Yeah. With DJ Yakumama there, which Trooper is in the chat. He made a delightful eco-techno song, which I will be posting the video of that clusterfuck. Well, the track's delightful. The video's a clusterfuck of insanity, and you should watch it if you want an acid-free trip, because that's what it's there for. It's in 1980s. They're at Lake Titicaca, and none of us can say that name with a straight face, so it's fabulous. And they're just investigating, a cult. Turns out it might be more of a cult following and a DJ instead of a cryptid, but we don't know. We'll find out tomorrow night, so tune in for that. And of course, not next week, but the week after next for more Stargate Flames. And Mondays, yeah, just go check it out. It'll be awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, have fun and play games. Goodbye.